parents need to see how whatever happens. And that's what you see. Initially, some years back, I really wanted to set up desk offices in our general hospitals to identify, as soon as the mother gives birth to a child, what is happening to that child. We are quick when a woman gives birth in our general hospitals. Within hours, they are told to go home. The thing is, you should stay at most for 24 hours. It's supposed to be 48 hours. Why? Because the mother needs to be observed, and that child needs to be observed. But we are quick to send off the mother and the child to go home. They are okay. That's what happened to me.
Exactly.
And mine was just a few hours. And then what happened to that child? When I was giving birth to my first child, my doctor then, Dr. Fashino, said, "You are my patient. That child is not my patient." And he brought in Dr. Kwati, who happened to have been one of our doctors when we were starting the Ferry Center, and said, "The child belongs to Dr. Kwati. Let Kwati check over that child and make sure the child is okay." And I learned from that. Any time I gave birth, I used to take my child to a pediatrician, because he is more of an expert in what is the child and everything. So I wanted to set up desk offices in our general hospitals to make sure that at least the right thing is done. I muted all these ideas to the then state government under chief servant. I did the same thing. Luckily, I met with Dr. Amina Abululu, who was a medical personnel herself, and she brought so many of my ideas, and we used to have conversations. So probably this government, I may approach them again, because as an intervention center, as a center, I'm non-partisan. I'm I will be there hopefully for quite a while, for as long as I'm alive and the interest is still there, and I have people who will be empathetic enough to continue the center with me. So this government, the intention is to see the same thing happen. And not only where the hospitals are concerned, where inclusive education is concerned.
Okay. I thank you so much, the Chief Executive Officer of Farid Center and co-founder as well. We also have Madam Dalhatu Abubakar Iyai here, who is the research fellow and attached to the center as well. Over time, we've had issues with problems of admitting students into the center, because parents hide their children with such kind of challenges. What is the government doing now through universal basic education to help centers like the Farid Center in locating some of these children and also bringing them into the center to give them the lifetime opportunities?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Dantola. That is a wonderful question. Yes, being the research officer, head of research for the Niger State Universal Basic Education Board, in Farid Center, on this particular project as a project manager, we've gone far towards identifying critical stakeholders that matters, especially in education, directly towards special education inclusivity. Okay, in the course of the preparation of the taking off of this program, we've engaged with several stakeholders. Niger State Universal Basic Education Board is among the stakeholders. We also engage with the Ministry for Basic and Secondary Education. We also engage with Agile. But because this particular intervention of this project I'm going to elaborate on now is majorly targeting two schools in Chenchaga local government area, which is IBB Primary School and Dutekura Primary School. All right. In the meeting, the super chairman also emphasized on partnering with the Farid Center, as well as the Honorable Commissioner of Ministry for Basic and Secondary Education. And towards seeing the realization of the collaboration, we joined forces together to celebrate the World Disability Day on the 3rd of December 2024. So there has been a progressive effort from the government, I can say now, towards working with the Farid Center. And one of the efforts again is we went to they said, that is the big government, the Farid Center is going to be looking into some of the issues we have at the school for special needs and other schools in the state, and to see where the intervention can be successful, can be effective towards having a standard special needs school in the state. And this project I'm about to say is the RISE project, with the intervention of MacArthur Foundation through John Appeal. The Family Center have gotten an intervention, as I said, to carry out the RISE project, which is the resources, integration or inclusivity, and the strategic communication, then empowerment. Okay, when we talk about the resources of the project, we're looking at what are those equipment, or what are those materials needed to foster learning, especially in terms of special education. Is it the equipment that will enhance hearing or speech of these special needs children? The integration part is to ensure that these special needs children are included. That is inclusivity into the mainstream school. That is, we should not be seeing them as special needs. We should have their own school. No, they should also go to the same school with these normal pupils. Then when we look at strategic communication, which we've been doing, engaging with critical stakeholders, sensitization and orientation, and this program is one of the strategic communication, because you've been very helpful towards ensuring that we come here to voice out what we do in Family Center. And then empowerment. And the notion of empowerment we have in Nigeria is not to just give money and all. No. It's to ensure that we set up these centers, is to ensure that we have training of teachers or experts on these special needs children. So basically that is all about the RISE project that the Family Center is embarking on.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Dalhat Abubakar. Yeah, let me come back to the Chief Executive Officer of the Forest Center, Hajia Amina. Apart from the partners he has just mentioned, like the MacArthur Foundation, as well as the Niger State government, do you have other partners that readily comes in to make intervention? And are you also having that plan of probably expanding your reach to reach other interesting partners?
Yes, we partner with majorly College of Education.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you have to have not just the backing of the law or policies that have been promulgated. You have to have experts to carry out these policies and to carry out these strategies. So I partner with College of Education majorly. College of Education, we are in a bid right now to make sure at least we get it, even if not out of College of Education, but at least let there be a department or a faculty, not just a department, like with maybe Abdul Qadir Kure University, which they are just neighbors. You know, NUC need to up its game in Nigeria to make sure that at least there is a university for special education, because we need to move with the world. So aside from that, I collaborate with other NGOs who have like mine with the Ferret Center. Zaman Institute is a center in Abuja. Brain Bloom is another one. There is a lady who started Montessori for special education in Nigeria. She started in Lagos. She's in Kaduna right now, Dr. Asma Oboyi. We collaborate a lot. We do seminars and all that. And anytime you see there's a small, we call each other up and all that. So there is that synergy with other NGOs as well. And then parents. There are a lot of parents who have really, because I wouldn't not want to mention them. They've had one's back. So you can see it is a collaborative effort with parents as well, because it's key. When you are taking care or looking after people's children, it's not just for them to come and dump them. You need to see how they can be interested, because that would be the most positive outcome for the children as well, when they know that the parents are involved at the same time with the center.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much. Let me come back to Dr. Nolado.
Yeah.
When you go to some public schools, and sometimes even some private schools, you see, readily you can identify 1, 2, or 3 kids with such kind of challenges. Is it proper? Are they actually in the right environment?
Yes, just like I said, we are all moving towards that. As it is, they are usually identified, assessed, and perhaps sent to relevant special school. But with the current trend, like I told you, the current philosophy is that a child should be educated in an environment that is as near normal to him as possible. So with this, we are talking about inclusive education. So if you find him there, the new national policy on education specifies that you should provide for him there all that he needs to survive and thrive. Provide for him in that place. So in essence, what even the project Hajia is talking about now, that's where it is going. In fact, locate children, prepare resource, both human and material, that will service the needs, educational needs of those children identified in that normal or regular school, so that they can thrive. That's the essence.
That's the essence. And thank you so much, Dr. Nolad. Okay, Haji Amina, do you have any activity lined up in the few days to come?
Yes, we do. The project manager has explained we are coming up with a program, with a project that's called the RISE project, not just to introduce, because inclusive education has just mostly been on paper. I had this argument with the commissioner. She said, remove that word introduce. I said, ma, I will try to look for another suitable word to use. But right now, we have inclusive education, but it's been on paper. But I want to mainstream in the state. I want to make sure that children with special needs are mainstreamed in the normal schools that we have, and that's why we are starting with the primary schools. Gradually it will progress into the secondary schools as well, but when we start with primary school, they are the ones that will graduate into the secondary school, isn't it? But right now we have children within even the mainstream, I mean within the secondary school settings, who were just pushed there. What was their performance? What is the level of IQ? What are they capable of doing? They were just being pushed primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. When they get to JS1, you find out that how did they manage to get into JS1? Well, we want to see how we can enlighten teachers, make sure that they do the right training to be able to identify children with slow learning, those that they are not writing properly, they are not calculating properly, they are not answering, because of being put down in the class. You don't know, Zaura, sit down there, you don't know anything. So the stigma around how to treat people that are not able to catch up with their peers. We want to see how we can keep engaging teachers. Those are part of our programs, and then making sure that at least identifiers in the classrooms are even well spelled out on the board, so that these children are identified and carried along, paired with those that are okay, that are fast learners, and then we find out, and then we introduce, and then we ease this system into the community. This will hereby help the society to pass the stage of awareness, acceptance, and involvement. Because in a community where you segregate, there will always be that dichotomy, where those people, people will always think, I'm greater than you, I'm higher than you, I'm more intelligent than you, I'm more beautiful than you. All that shouldn't be what is happening in the society. So we want to see how we can bring it down to the barest minimum, so that there will be more empathy in the society and there will be more compassion.
Thank you so much. More compassion indeed. Listeners, in case you are just joining us, the program is Nigeria Today, and we are looking at this special people with special needs, people with Down syndrome, and especially those who are slow learners, those who couldn't do certain things on their own, those who needed help from other people to get into the social mainstream of the society. And we have this morning the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Farid Center, Hajia Amina Jumai Gimba, as well as Dr. Nalado Abubakar Liman. He's a special education expert from College of Education, Mina. And we also have Malam Alhat Iya Abubakar, who is a research manager with the Niger State Universal Basic Education. And we've been discussing that. You can join us on this discussion through the number 09038 808883. You can join us on our Facebook page on Prestigefm91.7mx to send in your text messages. Before we pick the call, let me come back to Dr. Nlado. A while ago, we were explaining first step, second step interview, identification.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can shed more light about that. You have talked about the second stage more elaborately, but have remained quiet about the first step.
When we are talking about this categorization by human beings, that places disability on individuals. You know, it is society that creates disability.
Oh, not that the individual is disabled.
The individual might have impairment. You don't see with the eyes. The fact that you don't see with the eyes, you can see with the hand.
Exactly.
They are reading with the hand instead of reading with the eyes. So what makes them second class? What makes them different? If you decide to call them disabled, yes, you can call them disabled, but in what aspect? Are they unable to read? No, they can read with their hands. If you read with your eyes, it is your problem. But they are reading with their hands. So they are equally reading. I have a colleague in the college, Mohammed. If I want to prepare speech, I want to prepare a paper, I give Mohammed the skeleton. Go and prepare this paper. We co-author together with him most times. Go and prepare this paper, he will come up with a beautiful paper. All I will do is I will dot the I's and cross the T's, and then the paper is ready. In the last invitation I had to speak on the World Disability Day, Mohammed did most of the work. So in essence, what we are saying is there is no second class or first class citizen. We are all on the same pedestal. But the community, the parents, the society should know that you have to cater for these people. Just like Haja was saying, some parents will bring their children to the center and they will never care to know what they are doing again. And that she call it rightly dumping. They are dumping the children. I have seen it in several other private and public centers. When, especially the government centers, you will see parents will bring their children to that school. They usually call the school for the handicapped. I said, they will drop the children there. When it is time for them to go back home at the end of the term, they will not come and pick them. That's dumping. In the first place, you didn't follow to know what your child is doing, like all other children. Then it is time for them to go back home and relate with their parents. The parents are not coming to pick them. That's dumping. So in essence, what we are saying is that society should be aware that individuals are differently abled. And Dr. Nentala, you may be surprised to know even the gifted children with gift, are ostracized by the teachers in the class, by the communities and societies. A child who usually raises his hand to answer question, every time the teacher asks question, he's ready to answer. Teachers find fault in them. They call them names. Sabi. And he will begin to think of himself. He's calling me Sabi. Let me not be that
and
name.
You coiled into
and he will coil into himself. He will go back into his cocoon and hide. And that disability will lost it. And these are the category of people that we are waiting for them to launch us to the moon.
That is it. I agree with you, Dr. Nulado. Now, Hadia, you said you have a number of activities lined up. What are those activities, probably?
You mean about the RISE project?
Yes.
Oh, when we got the opportunity to submit a concept note at to the MacArthur Foundation, we decided, okay, what is happening? We needed to be timely. We needed to act fast. We are in a committee. Myself, Dr. Nalado, Dr. Hajara Mohammed, Dr. Zakari Malansani, and the former principal of special education. So we decided, okay, what needs to be done? It's almost like the government was tasking us.
Yeah.
Come up with something. Come up with something. And we said, okay, fine. Getting this intervention now, should we just use it for buying equipment? Some equipment have been bought by so many organizations and they are obsolete, sitting somewhere. They're not well being used because people don't really know how to use it. How do you train people to be able to use this equipment? But we said, okay, the society needed to go beyond always making awareness programs, making seminars, talking and talking and talking. We need to start walking our talk. So we said we will do this project whereby we will, let me use it, let the government here force the hand of the government to do the needful of what it's supposed to have been done since 2004 when we had the United Nations declaration. This is how many decades ago?
2 decades.
2 decades ago. So we need to catch up with the rest of the world because people with disabilities have so much innate abilities to be able to bring out the best in a state, in any department they place them in. And that's why we said we will do this RISE project. And we will start with IBB Primary School and Boots and Kura Primary School and see how we can cascade it, hopefully, with involvement and the trust from the government to say we will do it right. We are a private entity, quite all right, but we are doing it together with the government.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, doing it together with the government. Madam Delhatu, do you have days that have been set aside for to carry out these activities?
Yes, we have hopefully before Christmas we should be engaging with critical stakeholders in the town hall meeting, the CSO, CBOs, community-based organizations that are majorly in or expert in education. Then first week of next year, by God's will, we will be flagging off the program, of course.
Okay, thank you so much. Like I said, you can join us on 09038808883 to actually make your contributions to the program. The program is Nigeria Today, and we are gradually inching towards the end of the program. Probably, Dr. Nalado, maybe you can shed more light on how parents should have access, should make access to skills, you said, or education to some of their children that are likely to be having these challenges.
No, I'm sure that you see, one of the major problem is attitude. This attitude of a thing is the major precursor of all the problems. If you look at the attitude of that father of that child whom I work with at 21, what has he been doing hiding that child for 21 years? Two things could be responsible. One, he may not be informed. Two, availability of services. So now, with this kind of information that we're dishing out, interaction with the communication agencies, now that parents are knowing services are available, some parents may be willing to avail their children of the opportunity. So one step, that is information dissemination, enlightenment. Just like the project manager mentioned, there is a kind of collaboration with even non-governmental and other agencies, relevant stakeholders, in fact even parents. So by the time they are aware and they are sure these services are provided, so parents will avail themselves of the opportunity.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much. Funding has always been a major concern in this situation. And when you are running a center of this magnitude, you equally needed funding. Let me ask the Chief Executive Officer, apart from the partners you partnered with, College of Education, the MacArthur Foundation and the rest, You have said you have tabled this issue during Talba's administration
Yes.
and to Abulolo's administration, and now how has the government been responding in terms of funding, helping with fund to run the center?
I know. Honestly, I've had almost 1% in involvement of government as funds are concerned. I've had programs, a lot of programs I've carried out over the years. I think the best I've gotten is like 50,000 naira. 3 times, twice were pledges, which were never given. One was given by the then Commissioner for Education. This administration coming, luckily, it's such that probably what we've done over the years caught the attention of the ministry, and they called us to the table. So we've been involved. I've not had any monetary involvement from this government, not shishi. Let me say it like
it will not be in the form of actually money, but
yes.
in terms of facilities.
Facilities, not yet.
Not even that.
Not yet.
The issue is we have noticed that government usually shy away. But with this government, even saying come, let's talk about
that
it.
is a step.
That's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
Meaning greater things are coming.
Yes.
If they say come and let's sit down, we're hoping government should be more involved.
Yes.
You understand?
This is part of what has really spurred us on.
So with this one, we're expecting, because the one of the things is the policy. There is already an existing policy that is, and we have the capacity to develop and implement that policy. For instance, in every school, there are supposed to be teachers of children with special needs. If for nothing, to be able to identify that these children have this kind of need
And counselors
can be met. In every school, all these cohorts of specialities are supposed to be represented. And we have the Department of Special Education. We are training. Government involvement in the training. Already we have a department. Just like I just said, by the new national minimum requirements of colleges of education, special education is supposed to be a school, a whole school with several departments. For instance, education of children with visual impairment is supposed to be a whole department. Education of children with hearing impairment is supposed to be a whole department. So this is how we intend to go on with the government as the discussion continues.
Okay, thank you so much.
Subeb has been, if I have to come in there as well, Subeb has been great as well as a collaborative entity. So I didn't want us to leave the program without mentioning that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, what is your call on the general public going forward?
My call on the general public is to key in and be aware and be part of making sure that at least the community thrives through inclusivity, not just in education, but in every activity that is supposed to involve any human being who is able to carry out any assignment that has been given to him, irrespective of their abilities or disabilities, as the case may be.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Nolado, your final words too?
Final words is let the world be inclusive. Let everybody reach his roof. We are created with different roofs. The peak you can reach is different from mine. Let everybody reach his roof.
Okay, let everybody reach his roof. Okay, Mother Walker, yeah.
Alright, I would just want to encourage us to be more collaborative. That is, all the critical stakeholders, media entities, whosoever you are out there that have passion for these children and for education, you should all collaborate. We should not wait for, as you also stated earlier, Dr. Dantola, it's not all about money, but all about commitment, collaboration, and what you can offer back to the society through these children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm afraid our time is fast spent. We sincerely appreciate your contribution, Hajia Amina Jumai Gimba, the Chief Executive Officer, co-founder of the Forage Center. Dr. Nalado, your contributions are highly appreciated. Thank you so much. As well as Madam Dalhat Abubakar Iya. Thank you so much for being here. And listeners, this is where we come to the end of the program. We hope you've enjoyed the program. Keep a date with us tomorrow when we come here with another edition of the program, Nigeria Today.